Believe it or not, my voice is still a little bit raspy, but I have one, so I'm going to try and use my voice today to show you my Christmas cards for this year. I liked this design. I saw Linda Bowen make a slider card, and this is my version of it. And so when you pull up, the ornament goes up with it. I put a picture of my husband and I and our cards, but you could put a gift card in here or whatever you would like. I just love this card. Let me show you how to do it. I use the Delicate Ornament Thinlits dies and Versatile Christmas. I have a piece of Mossy Meadow that is 4 1/4 by 10. I have a piece of Season of Cheer Designer Series paper that is 4 1/4 by 2, and I think it looks great with either one of these. My original design had the Designer Series paper 4 1/4 by 4 going all the way down to the bottom of the card. But to save on paper, I cut it down to 2, but that actually caused me some problems, so I would recommend, if you can afford it, to go ahead and do the 4-inch size. You will need a piece of Whisper White that is 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. A piece of Whisper White that is 1 by 2 1/2. You will need a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 1 3/4 by 3, and some Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. I dyed this glimmer paper with some Soft Sky refill ink. I took our spritzer bottle and filled it up about maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch from the top, and put in 20 to 30 drops of re-inker of the Soft Sky in there and sprayed it. When you do that, as it dries around the cut edge, it will get a little bit darker. For this design, I don't know if you can see that, for this design I actually liked that, and so I cut my ornament out first and sprayed it, so I did get that edge around it. If you don't like that edge, spray the full sheet and then cut your ornaments out. When you cut your glimmer paper, it's going to work better if you actually turn your glimmer paper over to the smooth side. This one isn't big enough, but cut it out from the smooth side. I also used this little piece to cut the gold foil. The gold foil piece, though, you want to put on the shiny side of the gold foil. I also used the gold 1/8 inch ribbon and the gold cording trim. I actually ran out of this and used all gold cording, which I'll do today for my card. I think both work out very well. I also used the Curvy Corner Trio punch and a 1-inch punch. You will want to score the 2 3/4 by 5 1/2 inch cardstock at 1 inch and crease it. This will make the pocket for your gift card. And the Mossy Meadow will be scored at 5 1/2, which will leave your 4 1/2 inch piece here. You want to attach the Designer Series paper, and you want to make sure and get the full long side, because we're actually going to do some cutting after we glue it down. And you want to make sure that the edges are cut, and glue it about a 1/2 inch below the top. I actually found if I put this upside down on my paper, I could use the grid lines to make sure that that went on straight, and then use your 1-inch circle punch to punch a little thumb hole. Next, you want to cut a slit in this piece, and normally I cut with my cutter this way, but I found it easiest to turn it around so I can see where I'm going. You are going to be cutting 2 3/4 inch from this side. So I actually put a piece of washi tape down so that when I was cutting my 100 cards, I didn't have to work very hard to cut. And I also marked my cutter blade so that I started cutting at 3/4 of an inch to 4 inches. So it was really quick and easy to just go ahead and use those marks so that you're going to have this slip. Next we're going to use the corner punch to punch these corners, and it will work best if you actually push in the middle and then flip it to punch the other side. You do want to make sure it's all the way in the corner up against these guides, and I actually usually hold it there with my finger and then punch. For whatever punch you're using on here, punch the middle, and then go ahead and punch the ribbon slide. And for the 1 3/4 by 3, you're going to punch all 4 corners. Flip, flip this way, flip this way, and I found it easy to do all my punching first before I stamp. That way I know where the holes are. I'm using Night of Navy, and I'm using Wishing You a Season of Gladness, a Season of Cheer, and to top it off, A Wonderful Year. And I'm stamping that right in the middle of this. On the top of this piece, we're stamping, May all of these be yours at Christmas. I found it easiest to sign all my cards at this point while it's flat and easy to get. It's also easier to go ahead and put your cord or your ribbon in, and this is about 6.5 inches. Fold it in half, push it through the slot, reach into the loop, and pull the ends through. And now it's time to put the card together. You're going to put 2 dimensionals on your 1 by 2.5 piece on the very ends like this. Then insert it into the slit so that those dimensionals are sticking up. Turn your card over and kind of even it up, and use a strong adhesive. You can either use the tear and tape or the fast fuse, both will work. You want to put your adhesive on the side closest to the fold, and then adhesive on the sides. Then line up your stamped image, goes down towards the slot, and you want to put the fold right on the fold of this card so that it is now attached to that little piece. If you're going to put a gift card in, or your little note or your picture or whatever, this is an easy time to put it in, and just close your card. And this actually makes the mechanism. Now, because I have that cut, sometimes it catches right there. And so I actually kind of folded this up and rolled it so that it would ride over that corner easier. And that's how that mechanism works. And now you just decorate it. I wanted to put a hanging string, a hanging cord on my ornaments. So I took, 2.5 inches or so, and my gold topper. And you want to, I used glue dots, and I used at least 2 glue dots for this. You want this to hold on firmly to that glimmer paper. I put the cord in through the hole and stuck it on the back. and then stick it on the top of my ornament and put it on the dimensionals. So it still works just nice. On one of my original samples, I actually cut out from Night of Navy the decorative part of this ornament. If you're going to do that before you put the gold topper on. I elected not to do that layer for this card, but I think it's gorgeous. And then the next step is to put your front greeting on. You're going to want to use dimensionals only on this left side. So I put a one dimensional between the punches and then one on either side, and that will hold it firmly. And just put it in this bottom left corner over your ornament. And my card is done. If you need any of the supplies, come on over to bevadams.com. If you don't already have a demonstrator, I would be honored to be yours. And have a Merry Christmas.